The second season of Esther in 2 series has been sponsored by Dr. and Mrs. Adam Ohayon in memory of Avraham Shlomo ben Yosef Amram and Yosef Amram ben Avraham Shlomo Zichronam Livracha. Part 4. After Mordechai donned sackcloth following the news of the inevitable destruction of his people, the verse writes that Esther sent garments to clothe him, so that he might take off the garment of mourning. However, Mordechai did not accept them. Mordechai didn't lack clothing, so why send him clothes? If the message was to take off the sackcloth, then just plead with him to take it off. The simple answer is that she wished to speak with Mordechai privately, but dressed as he was, he wouldn't be permitted to enter the palace. She reasoned that it would be better to speak to him directly rather than send him coded messages. Makes sense, right? So why did Mordechai refuse? He feared that if he would wear proper clothes, he would not feel the same level of grief as when wearing the sackcloth. For a person's exterior image has a dramatic effect upon his state of mind. On a simple level, we learn to what extent a person must go towards to share in the pain of the Jewish people. He must worry that even the slightest change in his life will cause him to become indifferent to the pain of his fellow brothers. But maybe this pasuk teaches us a different yet also profound lesson. Evil decrees are instituted against the Jews for one of two reasons, either due to the nation's anti-Semitic beliefs or as a consequence of the laxity of Torah and mitzvot observance on behalf of the Jews. With the first kind, attempts to revoke it through normal channels, such as bribing government officials, can sometimes work. With the second kind, the only way it can be revoked is if the Jews reclaim their devotion to Torah and dedicate themselves with vigor to observe the mitzvot. Esther thought that the decree against her people stemmed from Ahasuerus' anti-Semitism. For when nations are at peace, their hatred towards the Jews surfaces, and they turn their attention towards venting it as painfully as possible. So she sent Mordechai clothes in order that he enter the palace and begin lobbying the ministers to convince the king to revoke the decree. Mordechai, however, knew that the evil decree was of the second kind. Shlomo HaMelech writes in Kohelet, Ba'atzaltayim yimach hamekareh, ufshiflut yadayim yidlof habayit. Through laziness the rafter sinks, and with idleness of the hands the house leaks. Because of the laziness of the Jews who did not engage in Torah study, Hashem became poor and showed lack of protection. Now the Jews needed the protection, more than ever, and that is why the sackcloth remained. Tune in for part 5 coming shortly. To hear the first season of Esther in 2, check out our website at findingholiness.com.